So Bill Gates was like, hey, let's celebrate 50 years of Microsoft because why not? And he decided to release some kind of initial source code. I honestly didn't read it, so like, don't ask me about the details. I don't really care. And then the Register decided, so this website decided that they would ask their readers which version of Windows they thought was peak Windows. The answer is Windows 2000, and Clippy killed it all. Clippy killed it all. Clippy killed Windows. So apparently, according to the readers of the Register, Windows 2000 seemed to attract the most affection. Yes, XP and Windows 7 received some love, and even Vista. Vista? What? I'm sorry. Who in their right mind actually thought Vista was peak? Who? I want to know who. I want names and addresses. What I would like to see is someone hack those people's information. We need to go to their homes. I'm just joking. Don't do that. It's just a joke. I'm kidding. I don't know how you can think Vista is like one of the peak ones of Windows. I think XP was peak. However, I can see perhaps an argument for why Windows 2000 was peak. And it might be because of the simplicity of Windows 2000. I actually had to go look up Windows 2000 interface. So I went and looked up, what Windows 2000 looked like, because like, obviously I have like I can remember it. Some of you can too. It's not like this is, of any particular thing that's hard to remember. But my argument as to why the readers of the Register thought Windows 2000 was peak would be because I think this right here. The user interface was not as overwhelming. It was far simpler. And I think it appealed to people who were using Windows and who have who have been along for the ride with Windows compared to let's say this. No, maybe let's do, let me see if I can just pull up like a large one. Yeah, sure. This one. And we'll open it. Okay. So compared to this, right? So here's the differences. You've got this one and then you've got this one. And I genuinely feel the tipping point is the user interface. As much as I like Windows XP's user interface design, I personally like it. It's a subjective thing. I think most people who are using Windows in these days were not necessarily, let's say, hinging their bets on whether Windows was good based on how it looked, more based on how it ran. And the simple user interface gave you a sense that there wasn't a lot of stuff. Again, this is a feelings thing, right? The simpler user interface made you feel like things were a lot simpler. And then you couple that in with the fact that it ran really well. Like it did its job really well. Like Windows 2000 was pretty reliable, generally speaking. You put those two things together, and I kind of feel that that's the tipping point between which of the two was peak. Right? So I might actually, I think I've been persuaded to agree with the readers of the Register here, and combining the simplicity of the UI of 2000 plus the fact that it ran really well, it gave you some sense of confidence. I tried to think of a good example to kind of like correlate that, and the best thing I could come up with was, imagine if you had two cars and one vehicle was really fancy and new and modern and ran just about as well as an older vehicle or an older looking vehicle that had a more simplistic design, but they generally both ran pretty well. You might feel better when you're actually using the older vehicle. There's something about I used to have an old 1975 Pontiac Ventura. For any of you out there who know these kinds of cars, that's a tank of a car, and it ran really well. I mean, the thing had over 300, 400,000 kilometers, and it was still running by the time I had it in the late 90s. and the thing like ran. It was fine, but it felt like a tank. If I had a modern car that ran like that, I might not feel the same way about its ability and longevity just because of like that modern look. I'm not sure if I'm explaining what I'm trying to get across correctly. It's the closest example I could come up with.